Hey everybody, I'm Joe McCall and I'm with the one and only.
Alex Youngblood.
How you doing?
Good. How are you, man?
Real good. We're on a little different format here. Normally we record our calls on Skype, and so hoping this works. We'll see. But
Switched it up.
yeah. Normally we do these Q&A videos, and it's been a while since we've done one. But well, by the way, first we are from the Real Estate Investing Mastery podcast.
Oh, that might be important to mention.
Yes. So if you haven't been to our website yet, go to realestateinvestingmastery.com. A lot of really cool stuff there for free. We interview experts, people from all over the country that are actually doing deals and making good money doing deals. And Alex happens to be one of those guys who's doing a lot of deals. And our question today has to do with rehabbing. And by the way, we're getting all of these questions from Alex's Facebook group. It's one of the best Facebook groups on the planet.
The best.
The best. And what's it called, Alex?
Wholesaling houses full time. Although it maybe should be called flipping houses full time because I wholesale and rehab. So
right.
It's all flipping.
Well, so how do people find your group on Facebook, Alex?
Just go to your Facebook, go to your search bar, type in Wholesaling Houses Full Time, and you'll see it. And just request to join. And if you're not a spammer or a scammer or anything else negative like that, I will allow you into the group.
So cool. One of the great things about the group is Alex does a good job of removing the spam, and they don't stay in there for very long. So today's question, though, has to do with wholesaling and rehabbing. If you're doing a lot of wholesaling, sometimes you're going to run across deals where, should I keep this for myself or should I wholesale this? And so the question came from the Facebook group, what's the minimum amount that you would be keeping the deal to rehab it yourself? What's your minimum net profit to make it worth your time to rehab? And then, or where's the line where, I'd just rather wholesale this thing. So, Alec, what about
it's
you?
a really odd situation here because I know people in my market that are rehabbing and they have a ton of private money and they are rehabbing for profits as low as $10, $12, $15,000.
Yeah.
You and I know, though, that we can wholesale and make an easy $10,000 to $15,000
with a lot less headache and stress.
Yes, but I think it all comes down to business model here. Because if you have a ton of private money, and when I say ton, I mean, $5, $10 million credit line, and then you set your business up to rehab 100 homes, in a year, 150 houses at $10,000, you're making $1 million, $2 million by having that set up that way. And it's just kind of like an assembly line that rolls right off.
Yeah.
If you're not doing that type of volume, $10,000, $12,000 was very low for a rehab deal, especially. I like to shoot for $30,000 to $40,000 on a rehab. But you have to keep this in mind as well. Competition is hot right now in the market.
Yeah.
Very, very hot. And it is difficult to get deals where you can wholesale and make $20,000 to $30,000 consistently.
Yeah.
So most of your wholesales are going to be, $2,000 to $5,000, $7,000, maybe $8,000, maybe $10,000. But if you want to have consistent paydays of big pops like that, that's why why I moved a little further into the rehabbing, because I was wholesale. I could wholesale a deal. And I'm like, okay, I made $5,000, but I know I have the potential to take the same deal and make 30, you know?
Yeah.
So for me, it made much more sense to go ahead and set it up to where I can rehab the deal and make 30 instead of, just make 5 and move on down the road. Because it's the same lead, it's the same generation that I do.
Yeah.
It's just me maximizing those dollars. And especially if you have it set up the way I do, where I don't spend time driving around picking out tile, picking out paint colors, picking out cabinets, and getting involved and dealing with contractors and all this stuff. You can definitely do it that way.
I'm sure that probably the answer to that question probably varies by market as well. right? I mean, would you say
20% of your ARV is usually what you want to shoot for, 20 to 25% of your ARV.
so? If it's $150,000 house, that's $30,000.
Is that how that works? Yeah, I
yeah.
guess so.
So now, in your market,
a $200,000 house
is 40,000.
40, right?
Good. So
we're mathematicians.
I know, we're so smart. We don't even know it.
It's better being a poet and not knowing it.
I'll just leave the long dramatic pause there.
Okay, go.
All right. So what's the median price in the area where you're rehabbing houses right now, Alex?
About $225.
All right. So you're probably seeing more average profit on a rehab deal than somebody would in a small town in the Midwest somewhere.
Absolutely.
What's interesting is a lot of people on the Facebook page were responding back with numbers like 20 or 25,000. And some of these guys I know, they've rehabbed a lot of houses. And, for them, they'll do one every 2 or 3 months. And so if you're doing 4 of these, well, let's see, 6, if you're doing 5 or 6 of these a month at $20,000 each net profit, that's still not bad. That's $120,000 a year for just rehabbing a couple houses.
Well, see, that's the cool thing about rehabbing. Because it's a bigger paycheck, you really can kind of design your lifestyle. You can say, all right, I'm going to make, even if I just make 20,000, all I have to do is 4 of these suckers and I can make 80,000 a year, right?
Yeah.
Also, if you wanted, you could plan for a higher amount. And it doesn't take that much marketing to find 4 deals.
Yeah.
It takes a lot more marketing to find 8 or 10 or 15 wholesale deals or 20 wholesale deals, So
now the market, if you were to rehab these houses 3 or 4 years ago, you might have had a little harder time selling them. But I mean, are you finding now in this market that it's easier to sell these homes?
It's kind of the same right now. It's really, if you put a good product out there, you elevate your rehab, your house, out of 90% of what's on the market already. So that is the key to it right there.
Yeah.
You now increase your marketability, which shrinks your competition to the other investors in town pretty much.
Yeah. Those of you that are wondering why I haven't brought up my experience in rehabbing is because I've done 2 rehabs and I've lost money on both of them. And so I have a bad taste in my mouth for rehabbing, although that's been about 4 or 5 years. And I started rehabbing these houses right when the market peaked in 2006, 2007. And if you remember, you couldn't sell anything. You couldn't even give your houses away because there was just so much fear in the market. And that's right when I got caught with these 2 big rehabs. But if anything...
Would you say you got caught with your pants down?
I did. Yes. So I haven't touched a rehab since. But, I mean, after hearing stories of like what Alex is doing, and I have a lot of other friends that are just doing really well right now with rehabs, my heart is softening up to it again. So it's a great strategy, especially if you're wholesaling deals. If you understand the marketing engine and how it works, if you're getting these deals in, you may want to rehab 1 or 2 of them instead of wholesaling them. But you just need to decide for yourself what the minimum profit is. And I think Alex's rule of thumb of 20% is a good number to go for. So anyway, on our next question and answer video, we're going to ask Alex, how do you rehab these houses virtually? Because you hardly ever go out to these houses, right, Alex?
That's right. I work in my underwear.
Okay. So go to realestateinvestingmastery.com and sign up for our Fast Cash Survival Kit bonus, and you won't regret it. Thanks, Alex. We'll talk soon.
Good stuff, man.
All right. Good.
We had company that just walked in. Those are all different types of elbows.
All right.
Well, up, cross, up, down.
Doing Taibo?
No, dude, that's kickboxing, bro.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.